Welcome in on the latest episode of Ask Coach Ford with Mr. Dreams to Reality, Coach Ford, and your host. You know who she is, Paige James.
Hey.
So she wants this to be more fun, and you guys just literally missed out on the first 10 minutes of blooper reel that I should have been recording. But I'm trying to be
Next time we will.
all professional here, and you guys are missing out on the fun stuff. But she wants it to be more fun. Now, granted, understand that she's the 20-something-year-old and I'm the old guy in this conversation. So we'll try making it more fun for you 20-year-olds because that's what you're into. Old people like me, that's just like, get off my lawn type stuff. So, all right. So that was the intro. So we changed the intro up on you guys. I'm totally geeked up and ready for this. Let's see if Paige can stop me with her questions, seeing that she does not message me back when I send her messages for an entire week straight.
You send me 700 messages and I don't know what to say.
Yeah, all right. That's great. That was really loud in the camera. I do apologize for everybody at home. That was loud. And I'm right on the mic, too.
I only have so many responses in me. And you're lucky that I do answer you, to be honest, because I don't talk to anybody except for you.
Listen, let's get the show started.
I'm ready. And
you're the host. Get us segued into it.
Okay.
Let's see what she's got this week, guys. Let's see.
Today is going to be a little different. So it's going to be less of the me asking question. Well, it's still going to be that. But today I want it to be an organic, authentic kind of back and forth, both of us talking type of moment. Because this past week I've gotten a few messages kind of wanting us to go over like what exactly we're doing in this podcast, what's it for, what's the reason, the behind the scenes, all that kind of how it started stuff. So I've gotten several messages asking us to go into depth, just kind of explaining what all we're going to be talking about and how we came about this topic and why it's kind of important to us. So today is going to be less with the questions, more of a story time per se. I like that. Story time. Coach Ford and Paige story time. So topic of today is called I Hear You. And basically, a lot of young adults are struggling to find their purpose, myself included. And we're trying to struggle and do it in a certain time frame, which I feel like is an unrealistic goal in today's world. Dude, put your microphone down. I'm getting a lot of noises in here. Anyways, it's an unrealistic goal today. And I feel like it shouldn't be expected the same way it was so many years ago, looking back. So we're going to get into it and kind of let you know that it's okay to go on your own timeline. Not everything you do is going to be the same as everybody else, and it shouldn't be. So I kind of want you to go in depth, starting out just what all we're going to offer with this podcast. So yeah, just get into a little bit. We've discussed it briefly in episodes 1 and 2, but I kind of want to dive deep this week and get those questions answered that I've been receiving of what all we're going to offer. So if you want to start out with that, maybe, or not. What are we doing?
So for the people that actually asked a question, because it was basically 3 hours of filming and talk, they probably missed this, but I did answer this in depth in the first 2 episodes. But for the first 10 minutes sake of this, I'm going to answer it so they can watch it from the first 10 minutes. Because I do get the report on how long they're watching the video. So that means they did not watch the video in at least enough time to get the answer, which is fine. It's totally understandable. We could probably clip the other 2 episodes into 4 episodes. So whatever. But here's the thing. First of all, let me give you the vision for the Ask Coach Ford show. Okay, first of all, our vision is to become the leading resources and community for young adults worldwide, recognized for its impactful mentorship, authentic engagement, and transformative advice. Right? So we've had this conversation. It was probably at the 40-minute mark of the last 2 episodes. But you get to hear it early in the episode this time. So when you listen, you can hear it at the 5-minute mark and not wait an hour of us bantering. And so the purpose of this, right? So for me, to kind of give you the behind the scenes, is I have a grand vision of things that I would like to see in the world, right? One of those things is I would prefer working with 20 something years olds. And here's the why: because they're not ruined by life, right? And if we can help them figure out the life they want early, then life's going to be so much easier on people like me, because then I don't have to worry about hiring, training, and recruiting people to my organization that are ruined by life and that they're not going to be creative, right? So when you have the youth, such as my host here, can seem to be misguided because they just don't know what they want to do with their life, right? And so because it feels like that, you get a guy like me that's like, no, I get that, I feel that, I hear you, right? And that's the title of today's Ask Coach Ford episode, is I hear you. And what do I hear? I get your frustration, I get your anger, I get trying to figure out a world that's quickly evolving and changing. And so here's what Ford X Media is. Ford X Media's vision, right? Ford X Media Vision, one of the departments, and the parent company, which is Ford X LLC. So my parent company is Ford X LLC. All we're doing is creating great content. And so what I'm doing is I'm basically giving the blueprint for what Paige is going to be doing whenever I step out the picture. It is her job to take over the media side as I go off to do the things I'm supposed to be doing. She's only to call me when the organization is burning down. That is the only time she will be able to call me. Now, we will still have these chats. So, like, you guys are basically getting the ground floor training of her becoming a CEO of Ford X Media, right? I am the owner and founder of Ford X LLC. Ford X Media is a subsidiary of the parent company. And so basically we're developing her to be the voice for you youngins. And so as she grows into who she's going to be, her own story starts to craft, right? And so for Paige, she has her own vision, right? Because she has her own vision and she can go into her vision, talking to people who don't understand her vision or understand where she's coming from, it'll just feel like it's falling on deaf ears. That's where she becomes frustrated. She's screaming on the inside. She's mad. She's angry. And I've never had a conversation with her about this. And I'm basically putting all of her emotions out on Front Street, right? She's just like, I just don't get it. I'm so mad. Granted, now I've known her for 6 years, so I do know her sass, right? And so I do understand that. And I remember watching her play basketball. We had a lot of outs, right? We've had a lot of fights.
Deep breath. Yeah.
In the times, okay? So, but I'm
Rocky
not afraid.
beginning.
Yeah, but it was good. It built the foundation for this because this is authentic. So I'll go back to the vision. So the person that asked this question, clean your ears out. Clean your AirPods out with all the earwax that you haven't cleaned out with rubbing alcohol or whatever, right? Seriously. Our vision is to become the leading resource. The means singular, right? So this is a grand vision. This is a global vision. The leading resource in community, right? So we're going to build a community, right, for young adults worldwide, recognized for its impactful mentorship, which is this, what we're doing now. Ask Coach Ford is the mentoring part. Authentic engagement and transformative advice. So this isn't for old people at home who are ruined. I don't want to talk to you. You're ruined. You kill the vibe and energy of people like us that's trying to create. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Here's the thing. If I say, hey, I want to go to Mars with Elon, you're like, why you want to do that? That's impossible. You know how much money that's going to cost. And I will be fair. There was a 20-something-year-old in your age group, and he did give me some energy for another episode that I recorded on my vlog. He's like, how you going to do that? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking, you're already cynical. I don't want to work with you, right? Because I don't want to work with anybody that's cynical and thinking, that's impossible. Literally, my company tagline is the impossible company. We're the impossible company. What my vision is requires a team. Here, I'm not going to give you my entire trade secrets. I will give you this much because it honestly does not matter to me if people hear what I'm saying, because I need the young people. This is a beacon for you to come out, reach out to the voice of the episode. Paige is the voice. There's a reason why she's called the voice and I am the mentor. Now, here's how this situation works. I don't just tell Paige what it's going to be doing. I ask her, what do you think? What do you want to do? What does your future look like? What does your book say? I give her advice. Like, I don't charge her. I don't charge anyway. I'm not charging any 20-year-old for this information. I am a high level executive. But people say, you're not yet. I am, because it starts in the mind. And because it starts in the mind and what I'm doing from ground floor, why would I want to take my thoughts, my opinions, to go beg somebody to hear me? That's why the 20-year-olds will listen to me, because they're not going to have to beg and beat at the door to say, I want a platform to speak. I will give them a platform to speak contingent on their ability to speak with professionalism, class, and sure, we can have a little fun, but the film will last forever. So it cannot be too much fun that it's not professional, because that's not what the Ford X company is about. The Ford X company is about impactful mentorship, authentic engagement, and transformative advice. We can have a good time. We can have blah, 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 do all the blooper stuff. That stuff's fun. But at the reality, you're eventually going to be 30. You're eventually going to be 40. You're eventually going to be 50. And then there's going to be the next seed of kids that's going to be doing the Axe Page AIM show, because Coach Ford is going to be on a spaceship with Elon to Mars, right? And that's just where my vision is. And it's really important that we're helping the youth now before they start getting cynical and living their life backwards. And I wish I was on my whiteboard, which I have a whiteboard behind me. And it says step one is step one. So for all you young people at home, here's the advice. Step one is step one. What does that mean? You're not going to go past step one until you figure out step one. What is step one? Here's what most adults don't do, right? In fact, 78% of Americans, including myself, live paycheck to paycheck. They're one catastrophic house fire or anything away from being on the streets, right? That's just the reality. Here's what I'm doing. I'm basically, if you ever watched the Flash, I am running back in time as quickly as possible, even though I'm not. And I'm saying, hey, 20-year-olds, run from this, right? Figure it out early. And so, because I'm doing that, that gives Paige the freedom to be like, oh, I don't have to be stuck. And we're not being disrespectful. I know everybody's like, well, my parents said this. We're not living in your parents' age anymore. Let me give you a stat. Do you know how much content creators get paid in the state of Missouri? And me and Paige just freestyle these interviews, just so you know. But I kill her questions every single time. Do you know how much content creators get paid in the state of Missouri, Paige?
No, I did not.
On average, $52,000. Think about that.
Oh,
Low end, 28,000. High end, 100,000, 100K. Right now, this is clearly, you have to go and do your own Google research for all you smart people out there. And you didn't take time to look this up, but you have the nerve to ask me. Right? And I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about the smart people. Well, how much is that going to pay? Well, how much does it pay to sacrifice the life that you want for a paycheck? Because that's what people do. And then they bury themselves. And you've heard this plenty of times. People die at the age of 25 and they live the rest of their life to 65, 70, 80. Right? Living a life they don't want to live. And I'm just stopping. I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to live a life I don't want to live. You know what life I want to live? I love coaching basketball. That's what I do. I also want to be a billionaire. So I can't sit on my butt and just be like, man, I just wish things would change. No, I'm making change, right? So I'm going to digress. Hopefully that answers the question.
I mean, that's one of the questions. Today we're going to be answering a whole bunch of questions I received. So a lot of people, again, we're going back to, well, I work a full-time job and, I go 10 hours a day, just come home, prepare for the next day, go to bed, do it all over again. And I don't want to do that. What makes you think that, you're going to be able to do this and get the life you want to be, filming an hour of content once a week? So I feel like people are misconstrued that this is all we're doing. No, we text back and forth. God, how many times a day? Constantly talking, constantly coming up with plans. This is not some throw it together, put it on the internet, see what happens. No, there's a lot of stuff that goes into this. But even if you do, want to do a 95-day job, there's nothing wrong with that per se, but that's not the life everyone wants to live. And I don't know. I feel like people think that's what we're promoting and stuff. And I was like, I don't know how to get this across to them that it's not just a for fun type of thing. Like, we're doing this with a mission, we have a goal. So that's why I wanted you to answer in depth again, kind of what the vision was. And they're like, well, how do I live a comfortable life doing what you're doing? How do they make it work? They have no idea the same thing, how much influencers make and stuff. So touch on that.
First, I want to touch on, if you want comfort, turn this off right now. I'm not the person to talk to. Go work your 9 to 5. Go ask your parents how they did it for the last 20, 30 years, working their jobs. I'm not the person. You need to go listen to Dave Ramsey. That's not what we're doing. This is a creator's company. This is an impossible company. You're asking a question about possibilities when we're telling you we're doing the impossible. So therefore, that tells me you're not. Okay, I'm going to relax before I get fired up.
Say that. Don't kill them, because we want them to keep asking questions.
Here, I want you to keep asking questions. What my first question would be to you is, what kind of life do you want to live? Because if you're asking me, that means you're questioning your life. I know what my life is going to be. Read my hat. I wrote the book. I built the merch. I'm building the company. I have the connections. I'm talking to people all across the United States now because I'm building the infrastructure. How do you think a rocket ship is built? Do you think a rocket ship is built overnight? Do you think Rome was built overnight? So to answer your question, how do you do this comfortably? You have to get started somewhere, and you have to be interesting. You have to have something to talk about. Do I have something to talk about? Absolutely not. I don't think I'm very good at this at all. That's why we're practicing. So what we're doing is practicing the craft. What we're doing is implementing. And I'm going to say this. If those are the questions you're asking, I probably wouldn't talk to you anyway. I'm glad Paige is filling those questions, because I wouldn't talk to you. Because if you look in my office with the amount of stuff that I talk to myself and the amount of things that I'm doing, you know how much. Anyways, so if you want to live this life, you got to know what you want. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Here's the life that I want to live. And it's none of your business, but I'll tell you, I want to live a life that I can do whatever I want. And that's most people. Here's what most people won't do. They're not willing to sacrifice the short-term gain, which is what your question is about. My short-term versus the long-term. When you have an exit strategy and end game, I just told you at the beginning, so you have to rewind this clip back to the 5-minute mark. I'm building a self-managing company. Paige is being trained in real time how to become an executive in a company that is about content creators' voices and the voice of the youth. Has nothing to do with old cynical people who are worried about making money in an era that does not exist. This is the content creator era. This is the independent era. Not everybody can go to Hollywood. Not everybody has to go to Hollywood. Not everybody has to go to the music labels and the music industries to get their music out to the world. Nobody has to go to Target and Walmart to say, hey, will you push my product line? What we're doing is giving you a blueprint on how to, from the ground floor, establish a company. Now, here's the difference between what we're going to do and the person that asked that question. And it was a great question. I just get motivated and I had to relax. Okay. So this is the stuff people love. They love the that stuff, right? And so you get to see the real Coach Ford. And I'm getting real fired up because I get pretty fired up about this stuff. Okay. Here's the thing. If you're worried about comfort, this is not the life for you. I'm an entrepreneur. I am a business owner. And I'm going to say the C word, and I know nobody wants to hear it in today's society. I'm a capitalist. I am capitalizing on the talent in front of me on this screen. I'm capitalizing on my voice. I'm capitalizing on her voice. And then we're going to capitalize on the image and the things that we create. Capitalism. Capitalize capitalist. So I'm capitalizing on the moment. Why would I not? Do you realize that the permission era ended? That question sound like a person that needs permission to go be great. Here's what you should do. We've did 2 episodes. This is episode 3 now of free advice. You should go and listen to them, or go listen to my daily vlogs about how to handle the voices of other people. It sounds like you have an internal self-talk problem. I charged $1,000. No. I charged $3,000 for an hour coaching session if you really want to get to the root of your problems. $3,000. Now, if you don't want to pay me $3,000, you can continue to ask Paige questions, and I'll answer them here for free. But if you want to get to the root of the life you want to live, $3,000. If you don't want to pay that, fine. You're going to pay me eventually at some point. You can go on my store and you can buy a $35 t-shirt and get free resources off my site when that's available in the next couple of months. So we're giving away free information and free advice. The first question I would ask you, again is, and I'm going to ask Paige this. Let's have her answer the question. Let's flip the script. What life do you want to live, Paige? What kind of life do you want? What does your life look like?
I feel like that's what I'm here trying to figure out. It's the whole reason I'm on this thing, because not only is it a resource for you and all other people my age trying to figure out, this is me very out in the open trying to figure out how I want to live my life. And I got ideas, I got ambitions, of course, but truth is, I don't know. And Coach Ford helps me every day trying to figure that out. And he's sitting here consistently every day trying to help me figure out what I want to do, who I want to be, and what I want to be to you all. So this is literally me trying to figure it out right now, real time.
Yeah.
Possibilities are endless.
So this is the Impossible Company, and so I'm going to reiterate this. The vision is to become the leading resource and community for young adults worldwide, recognized for its impactful mentorship, authentic engagement, and transformative advice. Right, the Ford X Media Company is about creating great content. How do you create great content? You have to figure out how to develop great content by figuring out your market. So that's why the show is called Ask Coach Ford. And the host is a 20-something-year-old female who's got connections to other 20-year-olds who are also struggling with the same concerns in life. I don't talk to older people because guess what? They're cynical. Do you know what cynical is? Look it up. They're stuck in their ways. And right now is the great time to help you figure this out before you get stuck in your ways. And then you say, well, it's impossible because I've never seen anybody pull this off. Great. Keep watching. They said the same thing about Steve Jobs. They said the same thing about Elon Musk. They said the same thing about Mark Zuckerberg. They said the same thing about LeBron James. They said the same thing about Michael Jordan. They said the same thing about a lot of goats. Here's the difference. I'm going to be the person that's willing to die on this hill that I'm going to accomplish it. That's the difference between me and anybody else. And all the other entrepreneurs that are figuring out. And I have a million thoughts that go in my head. So I'm not going to give out too many trade secrets because I don't want to lose people. Go ahead. Next question.
Okay, another big one. I received this one a couple times actually. I posted on my social medias and I was like, what do you want to see? What do you want to hear? What do you want to know about? And a lot of people had the same thing and they were like, I feel like I'm on track with what I want to do, but I feel like I'm, working just to make ends meet. And I'm living paycheck to paycheck. And I can't do any of the fun things I want to do, or I can't have time on my off days, just work, sleep, repeat. So, and that's not the life any of us really aspire to live, I don't think. So I said, okay, let's talk about it. How do we change the outcome? So that was a big one I wanted to ask you today. How do we change the outcome? Because I've myself have felt the same way in so many situations. So I wanted to ask you.
Let me
Why are
ask
you
you.
smiling at me like that?
Let me ask you. What do you think the answer is? I know the answer, but let's see if you know what the
You know
answer
the
is.
answer.
I've told you this.
I
I've been telling you this for 6 months now. You just don't remember.
One of my college friends asked me this question, so we had a whole in-depth talk about it. And when he asked me that, I was like, I'm gonna have to think on that because I find myself in the same situations. I'm working, I'm sleeping, I'm eating. But this week has actually been quite crazy because I've been offered a higher up position in my job doing a whole bunch of stuff. So I was like, this could be an interesting way to go. But while I'm doing this, I'm doing so many more things that I want to do. I'm having so many more opportunities. So what do I do? Do I take this position and, continue doing what I'm doing, or, make a little bit more money here and there, but still I'm living paycheck to paycheck. Not what I want to do. So I asked him, I was like, what do you think I should do? And I said, how do you think I should change my outcome? And we really just went back and forth about it. And I told him, I was like, I'm going to ask my mentor and I'm going to let you know what he says. Really? I have no idea. So how about you just tell me?
So I want to be full disclosure. I'm not that far ahead of you guys. I'm just now figuring this stuff out, right? Because, but I'm going to reiterate this. I'm like Flash, who's running back in time, trying to help enrich other people's lives. So here's the payoff for you people at home that are listening. Well, what's the payoff to listen to this guy? Do you want to still be doing that 10 years from now? If the answer is yes, turn this off. Turn it off. Turn it off right now. There's nothing I can do to help you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to waste my time because you're just here to waste time. You're just here to be on the show just to be on the show. So you can hear Paige talk. That's beautiful. That's great. But I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to waste my time. And that's when you get to that point in your life, then you're at a different level of life. I'm not going to waste my time. I've already wasted too much of my time. So here's to help you out. Stop living life backwards. Here's what most people do. You're backwards. You live backwards right now. I've done it. I'm done it. I'm no longer living backwards. Here's why you live backwards. Everybody's doing this right now. Paige, and you know this. How much are your monthly expenses? You don't have to say it. You can just think about it. Everybody at home listening to this. How much are your monthly expenses? Now, let me ask you, why did you get a job? You went and got a job, a job, which I have a job. You went and got a job, but I coach. I get jobs for different reasons, not jobs for most people. And my spouse, my wife will tell you that it drives her nuts the way that I live my life. Okay. Anyways, so let me explain this to you. You're living life backwards. Let's say your income. No, let's say because you didn't start here. This is where you started. You started because you wanted a car, right? That car was going to cost you $200 to $400, right? Then you wanted an apartment, and that apartment cost you $600 to $700, right?
Raise that a little in today's one.
Okay, whatever. So then you're talking about the cost to be alive. That's a great song. I'm sure all you know that song. Go listen to it. It's a Little Baby song. Okay, so let's say your car. Let's say $300. Your rent, it's $800, right? That's $1,100, right? Okay. Your insurance, because you're young, probably $200. I don't know. Okay. Now we're at what? What's that? $1,500, $1,600. Okay. Now your Netflix, your cell phone bill. If you're not on your parents' cell phone plan, so if you're on your parents' cell phone plan, turn this off because I don't want to talk to you. Okay. But if you're on your parents' cell phone plan, continue to listen to this because you're smart. It's a love-hate relationship type deal. Okay. Now we're talking about your cell phone bill is probably $100. So now we're at $2,000. Okay. Here's the thing. What does your job pay you? So you went and got a job, right, to calculate how many hours you need to work to pay all those things. Now, this is not including the life you want to live. This is why you feel stuck, right? Because the life you want to live, you never counted the cost until it showed up. That concert ticket you didn't plan for, that movie you wanted to go on, that random date or whatever you wanted to do, you're not putting those into your factors. Here's what you did. You went and counted the cost for your cost of living to live your initial life. So you didn't factor in living a life. You counted the cost of what it's going to cost you to live your life, not the life you want to live. That's where most people live backwards. So now when they get this job, right? And unless they're like, got a family that's going to put them in an executive level suite, you're probably starting off entry level anyway. Okay, let's just be real. So I don't know how much minimum wage is. I don't know how much that is. I don't know. Anyways, let's say it's $20 an hour, right? Let me pull my thing up. What is it? I don't know. Is it 12? I don't know. How am I supposed to know? How am I supposed to know? I haven't worked a minimum wage job. Well, I haven't worked a minimum wage job, and I'm not going to say never, but I'll never work a minimum wage job. Okay, so ever again. And I've been there, and I'm not trying to be funny. When you live and think at a different level, you're not trying to trade your life for money. Just so you're aware, people out there. Okay. So minimum wage is, so we'll say 15 because the special. I'm not even going to. Anyways, let's say how many hours are they working a week? 38.
That's what I work.
Okay, well, perfect. Let's do that. Okay, so let's do the math. 15 times 38, right? That's $570 before taxes. I charge. Hold on, let me go there. I charge $3,000 for an hour for you to consult with me. Now, people are going to say, "Do you have clients yet? Are you crazy?" Of course not. But I know what I want to work with, and I know what I'm willing to trade 1 hour of my time for. Most of you don't have the value provided to society to speak so boldly on YouTube, right? There's the difference. And so let's continue. Now let's do this times 4, because now you took me there because of whatever reason. Okay, you wanted to get there for coach this version of Coach Ford out today.
Yes, I did.
2280 before taxes. So I told you, how much is your monthly expenses? $2,000. So when the government gets on eating it up because you're single male or single female, so let's say the government's probably going to eat, let's say $380 of that. So now you're -10. What do? You're stressed out. You're like, oh, I need to get a payday loan. To answer your question in the first episode of this, I got to calm down. I'm frustrated now. Anyways, so most people are living their life backwards. Now, this is 228. Let's say the government takes, let's do it for simple math, $280 out. And I didn't even factor in gas into this cost. So your monthly expenses is $2,000. Guess what your net profit is a month? Zero. 2,000 minus 2,000 is zero. So yeah, most people don't count the cost. Why don't they count the cost? Because they was worried about getting the car for $250, right? So they got the car for $250, and I'm putting this in my Excel sheet, and I'll post this online for whoever's the smart guy out there. $800. Okay, what else did I say? Your cell phone bill. Let's say it's $100, because cell phone bills are crazy these days. Oh, unless you do T-Mobile or whatever. Let's just say 45. You probably have to buy the phone on an installment because you're not dropping $1,500 for Apple anyway. So that's a 2-year agreement. So we're going to say that's $60 for the installment of the phone. And then let's say groceries is going to cost you $300. And then let's say you want to go out to eat, $200 a month. Let's say your electric bill is $75, depending on where you're staying at. And then let's do the calculation on all this stuff. So that's $1,730. Great. So give or take. So now here's what most people don't do. They don't plan, right? So they say, well, I got a little extra. So they have $270. This is what they do. They blow it, right? They spend it. Then they say, man, I don't know where my money went. Trust me, I've been there. I'm sounding an alarm. I want you to picture this in your head. I am Flash running backwards saying, don't do that. This is what you should do. You take that $270, right? And you need to put it in a life you want to live account. And you need to stack that money up until you get a cushion, right? Because unless you bought a brand new car, and if you did, you're probably not going to have issues. I'm trying to think of situations. Brand new car is probably about it. Your car breaks down. That's about it. So now think about this. If you're 20-something-year-old, and depending on where you live at, now this is Missouri, Farmington. So let's say you're in a bigger city. These numbers go up drastically, right? Say you're in Chesterfield, we're probably saying $1,200, and I'm just being on a low number. Now you're -130. But anyways, for simple mathematics, let me go back to what I was saying. So if you're Farmington, right? If you're a small town Missouri, or if you live in a small rural town, then $2,000 is great for you. Your life is simple. That's not the reality for most people who don't live in small town USA, and most people don't want to live in small town USA for a reason. Anyways, and I love small town. I'm from a small town. I love it. I wouldn't move back. I love it. I love going out there, but no, that's not. I'm a city kid now, right? Anyways, so now we're $270. Let's extrapolate this. Let's say you don't touch this. Let's say you get some discipline and you automate this. And I already gave you guys a book to go read, but because you didn't listen to the first episode, of course, you're asking these questions. Anyways, so that's $810 that's in it that you could put in a savings account. Don't just save it to save, because guess what's eroding that number? Inflation. So you need to take that $810 and put it in an investment account, and then do dividend paying stocks. And again, the government, I'm not giving financial advice. I'm just simply sharing information with my mentee, and she's asking a question. You need to go get a financial advisor, or simply Google Robinhood, Acorns, take that $810, put it in one of those accounts, and then don't touch it, and then leave it alone. Simple enough. You're like, well, that's not enough to live my life. You're going to have to make a sacrifice now or later. Welcome to the club. Make the sacrifice now or later, because this is what most people do. They say, well, I want to live my life in the 20s. Okay, do that. I'm going to get married. Okay, do that. I'm going to have kids. Okay, well, let's just 10x this number then, and you still have $2,000. Right? I've been there. Trust me, I'm Flash. Remember, I'm Flash running backwards, trying to save you, to keep you from doing the thing that I'm doing. Right? Which I'm totally going to be getting out of that, but long story short on how I got here. But anyways, you lesson learned. The reason why I'm mentoring other people is so they don't make the mistakes that I do. Okay. So hopefully that answers the question. That was the biggest of the questions. If that was the biggest of the questions, it's just there's no truth. And the question I would ask you, so Paige, what kind of life do you want to live? What does the life that you want to live? And then you need to calculate the cost, because here's what most people do. They live their life backwards. They believe, and I sent you this, you need to send that roadmap I sent you earlier in the week. Did you even look at it?
Yes, I looked at it.
Did you send it to that person?
I will.
You need to.
I will. It was a long discussion.
Well, it was a short discussion, obviously, because I killed it in 2 minutes. So we just drug it out for no reason. But anyways, but here's the difference. That's why you have a mentor. This is why she has a mentor. That's the point of a mentor. I have mentors. I have coaches. I spend tons of money on the infrastructure of building up the baseline. This is just a baseline of Ford Media, right? The baseline. Anyways, so it was a good question. What questions? Follow-up questions. What else do you have on that? I'm interested to know how long this conversation took between you guys.
I mean, at least an hour
Crazy.
of straight back and forth texting. Well, no, because you have an idea of what you want to do. I've had 47 dream jobs that have all failed miserably, let's first say. So I want a career that's going to like keep inspiring me, one I won't grow tired of and excites me and gives me purpose. And I haven't found that yet. I've had 47 things that I've wanted to do, but I get tired. And a lot of comments that I got is like, I can't find something that keeps me motivated. I can't find something that I want to keep on doing. You know that. You got the answers. We do not. We do not. Now I'm fired up.
So that's good. That's good for people to see. I'm going to ask you one question. Ask, not ask. Come on, Justin. Ask. Let me ask you this question, not ask you, right? Southeast Missouri coming out of me there. Okay. How do you serve other people to the highest extent possible?
That I've been going over and over since you've put this in my lap and given me a platform to speak on, because if you would have asked me before we started this, I go in every day, I help people see again. I take tests and I give people glasses, and I do my time, I pay my dues. But now that question has just gotten so much more dense and so much bigger, because now I'm the voice of all 20-year-olds trying to lead them on a path that I don't even know myself. Like, I'm trying to figure out just as they are in real time. So now, wait, what was the question?
You're not.
How do I serve others?
But let me help you though. You're not the one leading you on the path. You're simply the person that was loud enough to come knocking on the door, and the guy that just barely stepped on the other side of the door said, "Hey, there's this hole right here. If you just go one person at a time, and then if we all dig together, we can break open this door." And older people are like, "No, don't do that. They need to figure it out like we had to figure it out." I'm like, no, I'm a capitalist and I'm an entrepreneur. I want them to be able to buy my $35 shirt out of love and respect for the truth. I just want you to go in the Ford store and be able to buy a shirt for $30 without stressing about breaking your bank account. It's simple.
Which is a real problem for people like me.
So, exactly. So if we figure it out, you're not going to be sweating. Guess what? You're going to go buy my coffee merch because you're like, oh, this guy helped me save a bunch of money or whatever and enrich my life. Here's the outcome: less stress. You want to know the outcome for listening to this? Less stress, less worry, less fear, more confidence, better decision making, being able to communicate better. And here's the nugget. That's the payoff. You're like, man, this guy has really, really thought about these things. I know, that's part of learning the journey, the part of having mentors, right? So let me help you out.
That's funny.
I want to help you out on something. You're not just helping people see again. You're serving people. What doesn't work for you works on you. And what it's working on you is teaching you the bigger vision. And this is where I step in. Stop viewing it as just helping people see again. And you're serving the world with the ability to enjoy and experience their life in a way they would never get to experience it if they didn't see your face for the first time when they swapped out those glasses. That's the difference. Here's the difference. If I was in your shoes, I would say, hey, How does it feel to be able to see clear again? Isn't that exciting? I love this for you. Wow, you just made somebody's entire week, entire day. You see the difference in a way that I think, and if we can get everybody thinking about this in a love service mentality, then we change the world in a positive way. By me saying, hey, Paige, I hear you. How do you feel after these conversations? How do you feel? Do you feel relieved? Do you feel like you're getting value from this? And you go, yeah, I feel amazing. That's what you should make your customer feel every single time. It's not about doing your dues. It's about service to others, because the greatest amongst us did not come to be served, but to serve others. And you can Google that line and you'll find out who that is, because I wanted to be some homework. So I'm not doing this to be served. I'm doing this to serve others. And when I serve them this information, I'm not thinking about me. I'm thinking about them. Sure, I did say contradictory. I'm a capitalist and I'm an entrepreneur. And I want you to be able to buy a $30 shirt. But I didn't say, hey, buy my $30 shirt. I didn't do that. I said, hey, what kind of life do you want to live? I'm not worried about if you buy my $30 shirt, because you can't afford it yet. You will be able to if you listen to this advice. Here's the advice. Count the numbers, count the commissions. What life do you want to live? The reason why you're worried about working your 10-hour shift, because you haven't counted the life you want to live. You don't even know how much your ideal life costs you. I know how much my ideal life number is. I know how much it is. And it ain't wait until 65 to live it. I know the number. It's $100 million. I know my number. It's $1 billion. You said, oh, you're not even a billionaire, a multi-billionaire. That's your problem. That's your thinking. Well, how do I make extra money? Negotiate. You don't like being paid $15 an hour? Okay, find a side hustle. Create content. Oh, there's one for you. $52,000. Well, that's hard to do. No, it's hard for you because you're scared to do it, because you're worried about yourself. You know why it was easy to create a podcast? Here's the real easy podcast. What is my vision? To help 20-some-year-olds who drink coffee figure out life. That's it. That's it. You know where my people like to hang out? They like to hang out at Starbucks. Give away, you know what? I'm thinking about giving away a free Starbucks gift card. How many 20-year-olds are going to be emailing me for that? For free? Yeah. And then guess what? We're going to do a live drawing in will. We're going to do a free will drawing. You're like, why are you doing this? Exactly. Service to others. I don't care like that. I'm not making my money off you as a 20-year-old. That'd be ridiculous. I'm going to make my money off you when you're the 30-year-old and you come back to hire me to coach for you. And then I'm going to make money off this YouTube channel once it monetizes. Is it going to monetize today? No. You got to see the vision. A lot of you people just see the end of the tunnel because you can't see the light. You know, you go through a dark tunnel and it's like, oh my gosh, I cannot see anything. Yeah, I know it's scary in there. That's the type of life you live. We all live there. We all been there. Being an entrepreneur, being a professional. I live that life every single day, but I see the light. Why? Because I have to visualize that the light is at the end of the tunnel. Now, sometimes the tunnel is blocked and you don't know it. So you better hope somebody's got some C4 blowing out the other side, because if not, yeah, it's going to suck, right? And that's how it feels. I know that's how you feel. But this is the light at the end of the tunnel. You're worried about yourself instead of worried about how can you go serve and help other people to the highest extent possible. So if I was flipping burgers, right, and this is a true story because I used to work in restaurants, I'm not worried about me. I want it to be the best experience for my customer every single time. And when they come back, they say, hey, is that Justin guy here? Why? Oh, he just takes really good care of us. We just know we're gonna have a good time. And I respect him for that. Why? Because that family's coming in here with their hard-earned money. I know how much hours they sacrifice, how tired dad is. And he sacrificed 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 hours a week. And now he wanted to take his family out to a good meal. And he wants it to be a good experience. And so y'all not hearing me talk from a place of, I don't think about these things. And I live this life. And I feel you. And I feel those people. And this is not a knock on talking about your parents or any of that. What I'm combating is the mentality that gets everybody stuck in limiting their ability to be the best version of themselves. I wrote a book. Okay. The book is Just Do Your Job. $24.99 on my website. It's an easy read. It's 80 pages. It's actionable. I wrote it. Here's why I wrote it, to be short and sweet. You know why? Here's the greatest thing. You know why I wrote it short and sweet, Paige?
What's that?
So you can execute on it and implement action, right? A lot of people get paralyzed in the things of what they want to do. You said, I got 45 different options, and you're paralyzed to make a decision. I didn't give you an option with this. It was, hey, Wednesdays, tonight we had to record later because of I had a conference call. Hey, Wednesdays at this time. This is the time I got. Okay, well, I guess that's the time we're doing. Make it work. There's no other option. There's no other option. Or I gotta find somebody else. You know how I am. And that's not to be disrespectful. I'm teaching you that I value my time. That's why I get up at 5 a.m. to work on my body, to get the man boobs off, to get the fat off, to get the dad bod off. I shouldn't have a dad bod. All those excuses I was making, I wasn't living my best life. I wasn't doing my number one job. And I can't write a book and not live my life according to what I wrote. Come on, man, I'd be a liar. I'd be a contradicting. And Paige would have called me out about that. So, yeah, I got to be honest with y'all. yeah. So, yeah. And so I hope y'all learned something from this. I hope y'all got some value from this. And I'm glad they asked you those questions. I hope they continue to ask those questions. And this is all freestyle. I want to continue to say it's all freestyle. And I will tell you the vision is much bigger than what I said. And I'm not going to tell you the vision any bigger than that. If you want to know what the vision is, you can come work for us. Then you can try duplicating it, or you can pay me $20,000. That's your option. If you want my trade secrets, come pay me $1 million. I'll tell you whatever I know. $1 million. That's the offer. If you were so wondering about how to really fix this, it's $1 million to buy into my company. It's $1 million. Okay. You don't get ownership. I'll give you 10% ownership. Well, $1 million. Okay. Now, here's the other question. If you're struggling mentally, go find $3,000 and invest in yourself. Part of your problem is you don't want to invest in your abilities to grow and get better. Just reality. You believe your investment is a college degree. That's incorrect. Is a college degree important? Extremely important. For some people, it's not that important. Here's what's important. Being a lifelong learner. If you refuse to be a lifelong learner, I wrote this in my book about being a lifelong learner, then you're SOL anyway. I'll just be real with you. So got to make a commitment. What are you going to make a commitment to? How do you want to live your life? One, I would make this first commitment. Stop living your life backwards. If your job is not paying you and it's making you feel like you're trading your entire life for money, because you are, trade your entire life for money. That's what you're doing. I'm not trading my life for money. I don't. I coach basketball. I love coaching basketball. So I'm not trading anything for it because I love it. I'd be coaching anyway. I'd coach for free if I needed to, but I'm not, because that's crazy. Why would I do such a thing? That's how people get burned out of doing stuff that they love to do. So I love helping people. So what do? I get on YouTube. I give away free content. That's what I'm doing right here. Now, if you want to like take my time outside of this time that I allot to people, then it's $3,000. And if you really want to know about my company, like if you're that intrigued about how to do this, it's $1 million. And I think about giving you 10% offer. But it's $1 million to buy into this because it's $100 million business. You're like, you don't have $100 million yet. That's your problem. You can't see the end result. That's why you're stuck. You can't see past your limited thinking. Your limited thinking is why you can't see a vision of this nature. That's why. That's why. I can see the vision. I see $100 million. It's real easy. I wrote it on my board. I am a multimillionaire turning into a billionaire. You say, well, you're not there yet. That's your problem. That's your personal issue. Why would I want to talk to you? You think Mark Zuckerberg? Imagine if Mark Zuckerberg and Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak and all these people listened to cynical people. Can you imagine that? You're on an iPhone. I'm on an iPhone. You're using an iPad, an iMac, and AirPods. But these people will ask you questions about how is it possible? But you're and the person you probably talk to use iMessage, don't they? I guarantee they're an iMessage person. And I guarantee they use TikTok. And they use Instagram, and they use YouTube, and they use whatever, Snappy Chat, whatever it is. They use all those applications. Guess what? They were thought of by a person just like me that was like, how can we change the world and make a massive impact? But you guys are so stuck on being consumers, you can't think about creating your own environment.
Gotta stop for gas.
Is that dog?
My dog.
Yeah, he wants to be a part of the show every single time. Every single time. Cut him a check. You don't give a look. Yeah. He wants the part of he's like, come on, dude. You've been on the show for an hour. Love me. You're at work
He's
all the
cute.
time. Your dog's like, you're at work all the time.
He's like, what are you guys talking about? This
Yeah.
is Coda.
Yeah. Coda. Yeah. Yeah. Smart dog. Yeah. He's like, send me a check. I'm on Hollywood time. I'm with him. I'm with the dog. The dog is smart.
You're gonna have to leave me alone. You distracted me.
All right. Well, we're almost done anyway. So, was there any more questions or is that it?
I mean, I got more, but we don't have to talk about more. We can save it for another day if we need to.
Yeah. Save it. We'll do one more and let's wrap this up because we're already at 52 minutes.
So, oh my god, he's eating pizza roll. Anyways, one of the biggest ones also was that people my age feel like they've been dismissed due to their age and looks and stuff, and that was a big one because they said, "Well, I'm trying to do what you're doing. I'm trying to step outside the box. I'm trying to do this and that and the third, but I don't feel like I get taken seriously, and I don't know how to change that." And I was like, I just asked them, "Why do you care?" I mean, I get that it's a big deal, but like, why is that stopping you from doing what you really want to do? You know? So, I mean, unless you have something to add on that, my whole thing was, why do you care? Do it anyway.
Here's why they care. They don't have a mentor that's pushing them to be great.
I felt very Justin when I said that. Why do you care? Do it anyway.
Here's why they care. Because they don't have a mentor that says, who gives a flying rat's butt what anybody has to say. You think I care? I'm 32. I'm going on 33 next month. I wrote a book. I have a YouTube channel. The people are like, your numbers, your views are all low. I don't care. I have already went to the end result of who I'm going to become. Right? It's not going to be built by me waiting and wishing for it to happen. See the shirt? What's that shirt say?
Ford it.
That is the parent company. Ford X Media is a department that Paige is going to be running one day when she figures out her life. Right. And when the checks start coming in from this show, because I have massive plans. Again, it's $1 million if you want inside trader secrets. If you want to know all my insider trader secrets, and honestly, if you would listen to the show and listen to all the stuff I post, I'd give it all out for free anyway. But if you just really want to know, it's $1 million. Because you're limited thinking, this is what most people do. They're like, he's crazy. I'm not going to pay him $1 million. I'm saying, man, how can I create an offer to pay him $1 million to learn the information he's learned? See, most people don't think. Thinking is the hardest work most people refuse to do. I'm not going to say won't do. They refuse to do. It takes a lot of thinking the right stuff, thinking creatively, thinking in general. Now, I may come off as too cocky, whatever. I don't care, but I care what you think. I'm not listening to you. And here's why. Because you're limited thinking. You already told me you think limitedly. Why would I want to listen to somebody that thinks limited? That's just gonna make me stupid. That's crazy. You know what I'm gonna listen to? I'm gonna listen to Elon. Why I want to listen to Elon? Because Elon bought X. Elon's got Tesla. Elon's done a lot of stuff that Justin's interested in doing. I would listen to Steve Jobs. Why? Because the person you probably talk to, and you're on an iPhone. So, you know, my response is going to start being to be, do you use an iPhone? Well, yeah, I use an iPhone. Who created the iPhone? Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs didn't create the iPhone. Steve Jobs was the salesman of the product. His personal brand sold the iPhone. Anyways, so I digress. So did I answer the question? Because I got sidetracked on that.
I believe so. I mean, my answer is quite simple, so I think you're way better than mine.
Here's why you say, why do you care? Because they're not getting these conversations. So most of the times it's Paige's sister and she listens and I just give her the information. But here's why I'm good about giving information, because I'm a student. I have mentors. Every high level person I listen to and talk to, they have mentors, they have coaches, they have a network of people they can listen to. You don't have a network. You need 4 things. You need a team, right? And this is what the team is compiled of. You need a team, you need a mentor, you need a coach, you need a trainer. You need a mentor, you need a team, coach, and a trainer. That's your village. That's your team. You need a mentor, you need a coach, you need a team, you need a trainer. You need a mentor, you need a coach, you need a team, you need a trainer. You need those 4 things. Without those 4 things, it is almost improbable for you to achieve any high levels of success Why? Because your brain is already trying to protect you. So it's going to fill your thoughts with every negative thought anyway. And then you regurgitate this information. So when somebody like me comes back and says, here's this prescription, and they're like, nah, he crazy. How he gonna do that? How you gonna make a living off being a content creator? I got paid $83 from Meta and I wasn't even trying. Put that in perspective. You're like, that's not a lot of money. That's not a lot of money to you because you don't think big enough. That was out me trying. I just hit double digits. $10 for this month from Meta. Now, people like you at home, and I want to say this, Paige, this is a lesson for you to learn. It cost me $14.99 for my Meta subscription, right? The more content I post, when I get to $100, $200, $300 from Meta, am I worried about my Meta verification subscription? No. You know who's worried about it? People who live paycheck to paycheck, worried about, oh my gosh, I could put this $14.99 towards gas. Right? No, I want to be Meta verified. Why? Because that shows I'm willing to take an investment in myself. You don't even want to take $14.99 to invest in your own self. So how can anybody of high level take you serious? I
The
can't even take you.
$83 you made, that's 2 trips of gas.
Forget the gas. I ain't even count gas. I'm talking about my Meta verification. Because the Meta verification is going to get me paid that gas. I'm not worried about no gas. Most people ain't gonna make it to an hour worth of this video anyway. That's why I give all the good stuff at the end, because they not listening to the good stuff. Yeah, I'll wait to the end to give the good stuff because y'all not listening anyway. You turned it off at the 10-minute mark. I get to that. I know when you turn off the video. I know. I'm a smart guy. I'm just play like a dumb basketball coach. I just play like a dumb basketball coach. I play like a dumb basketball coach. I play like a stupid person. I just let y'all think I'm stupid. I just post on social media for y'all to think I'm crazy. And I'm really intelligent. I just talk dumb. Yeah, that's why Paige talks to me, because she know I ain't stupid. That's why she just let everybody look at me when they be like, he crazy. She's like, no, he actually pretty smart. He just, I don't know, he just him. Yeah, I'm really smart. Yeah.
If you know me,
I need target.
I don't give many people the time of day. So it
Yeah.
says something.
So
But I spend so
here's what
much
I
time with
need.
him.
I need Nike to call me. I need a deal with Nike. I need that $3 million so I could pay Paige $1 million so she can create content without worrying. Yeah, so I got big plans. Yo, these are 4 people I need to call me. I need the CEO of Nike call me. I need the CEO of Apple call me. I need the CEO of Apple to call me. No, I said Apple. The CEO of Starbucks to call me. And there's one more. Who was it? Who was it? Oh, and the CEO of Ford X to call me. Well, I'm calling myself on that.
I was going to say,
Anyways, yeah. But anyways, hopefully that answers your questions. Say the questions for next week. Yeah, you got anything else for the people?
no, I mean,
And they not
I
watching the full
hope.
hour. I'm just letting you know they not watching the full hour. I look at my YouTube analytics. I know who watching.
Well,
Y'all don't watch the full show. It says I know what time they click off at the 23-minute mark. There's only a select group of people that listens all the way to 23 minutes, and they not even listen all the way to the full hour.
those of you that have made it this far, you're a real one.
This was
I
the best
know,
one
I felt
yet.
that way too.
Yeah.
Anyways, if this podcast will make a difference in your life, no matter how astronomical or even slight, I hope this can be a place of information, but also comfort. And as all these questions today, my inbox is always open, and I check my social medias daily. So please ask me questions. Please. I'd love to answer them. Well, have him answer them.
No, she's answering them because she's thinking about the response in her head to filter them. She's filtering the questions because she already know I ain't gonna answer all these crazy questions. Okay, they got to be valuable. Now there's some crazy questions that I could ask that you can ask, so I'll answer. But it was good. I think I like the approach of going more of a conversation
Yeah.
opposed to Q&A. But I think we needed to do the Q&A. Here's what I want people to understand. This is called practice. And if we don't practice it, this is why most people never get ahead of life, because guess what? They don't want to practice. And Paige will tell you, I'm a big proponent of practice. Players be like,
Mm-hmm.
he don't want to play me. You don't practice enough. I'm going
Go
home
into the
crying.
game.
I'm crying, my mom and daddy, because coach scores me, and you don't practice. You ain't worked on your jump shot, your dribbling. You don't even know how to make a move in the game, but you crying about it. You think you deserve to play. And most
How
of
you,
y'all want to.
yeah, how you expect to perform in a game if you don't show up to practice?
Then why do they do
Well,
it in their real life? And they get 24 hours for real to be an adult. Answer that. Y'all got all the time in the world to be adults, and you don't spend no time practicing how to be a better adult. You sitting online listening to me crying about how it ain't working out.
that's what I'm saying. I could be reading my book, watching my Grey's Anatomy. I'm sitting here learning every week, every day.
Yeah, so I'm uncomfortable watching TV. See, we gotta say this. This should be the new format. This is the new format. We gotta have a conversation like this. I'm uncomfortable watching TV, and if you made it to this hour and 10 minute mark, you crazy. Uh, but hey, it's been Coach Ford. This is Mr. Dreams to Reality, Coach Ford. I appreciate y'all. Don't get butthurt. Don't get mad. This is Ask Paige. This is just how I talk. I
That's
get
true.
animated. I get fired up, but it's all out of love. I want to see people succeed. Um, and I'm part of a show. I understand that there's a character. You got to understand that I have to have a character. And the character is Mr. Dreams to Reality. Uh, but if you knew me as Justin, I don't really talk to people like that. I'm to myself. I don't just solicit my voice to people. You can ask my family. You can ask anybody that knows me. So for me to be out here actually providing a service to the world, I'm telling you, when I say serve others, this is my way of serving other people, specifically 20-some-year-olds that drink coffee. And they're trying to get their life figured out. Here's the payoff to listen to me. Here's the payoff to the free information. Less stress. Do you feel less stressed, Paige?
Yes, and I am an overthinker, so I'm all stressed all the time. This is my escape.
We need to talk about overthinking and how to help some coping tools on that. But hey, that's been the
Next
latest
episode.
episode of Coach Ford Speaks with your host,
Paige. Yay.
Paige Ames. You did a phenomenal job. I gotta
Thank
go.
you.
I have some homework and stuff that I need to do, and it's already 9:42, and it's past my bedtime, so I gotta go. All right, bye.
Me too. I gotta get my
Hey,
wisdom teeth out tomorrow. Yay.
that's crazy. So hopefully that's healed up before the next episode, and that you'll be able
Yeah,
to talk. Okay,
let's hope so.
we need to you need to let me know on that. Okay, hey, all right, bye. Hey, do not close out the app. Do not close out the app super early. You gotta let the app upload. Okay.